So I think that my clinical skills have definitely changed over the last 5 weeks for summer two. In my sessions, I see that I display more confidence in what I'm doing with using play based therapy and with doing the articulation therapy that I've been doing. I see more confidence in my skills and more confident dealing with my clients. I also seem less tense. At the beginning of the semester, I feel like I was very tense because I didn't really know how to use play based therapy and how to work with articulation and things like that. But now I seem like I'm less tense, I'm more relaxed, and I think that's better for my clients than, me being wound up and being nervous like, "Oh my gosh, am I doing this right?" Now I know that I'm doing it right. I feel confident in the way that I am doing my therapy sessions. So that's something huge that I've seen. Um Another thing that I've seen in my growth through the last 5 weeks is not jam packing my therapy room. That was actually one of my goals for this semester. My exact goal was maintain a cohesive therapy room by limiting my materials to no more than 4 items. So at the beginning of this semester, I would have like 8 different things in my session just in case if one thing didn't work I could switch it out. And but it became a point where my clients were getting distracted by these things. They would want to work on one thing for 5 minutes, oh, and then I want to switch and work on another thing for 5 minutes, oh, I want to switch, when that's not really how it should be. So I have made it a point to not take more than 4 items into my sessions. So I usually do like dinosaurs, and I'll either do a train set or cars. I won't do both, and that's what I was doing at first. I was taking a train set and cars, and then I'll have like a book or their flashcards or the Gone Fishing game. I try to keep it really, really simple and not have items that are too big as well, so that their eyes aren't wandering all over the therapy room and trying to see, ooh, what does Miss Justice have today? No, we're going to focus on what's in front of us first, and then we'll get to do something different. The next thing that I've seen my progress is my data collection. So at the beginning of the semester, I found it really difficult to collect data and do play-based therapy. We're playing all the time, my pen and my paper are off to the side, and next thing you know, I look and I'm like, I didn't even get data on that. And so I was having to rely on my assistant a lot for data collection. So now what I do is, instead of trying to focus on all 5 goals at one time and like, okay, ooh, I just caught that. Ooh, I just caught that. Let me take that on it. Instead, now what I do is, okay, for the next 10 minutes, we're going to work on to be, auxiliary, verb, ing. And that's all I'm going to take that on. If I hear it, I'm going to mark it. If I don't, I'm going to not mark it, things like that. And then while we're still having the same activity, move on to the next one. Okay, now next is to be copula. Okay, did I hear it? No. Did I hear it? Yes. And taking data like that, instead of trying to, oh, I think it was there. Oh, I think it wasn't there. Or simply not taking data at all. So, like I stated before, my first goal for the semester was maintain a cohesive therapy room by limiting my materials to no more than 4 items. And I did reach that goal, which was very good for me. Like, it felt so nice not having to take 15 minutes to clean up my therapy room after a session, or to hog like 6 different items into the rooms and everything. It was very good. And it also gave my clients a chance to really focus on what we were doing. And I could still give them an option. Okay, do you want to play with this or do you want to play with this? And they could only choose from these 2 things instead of choosing from 8 different things. And so I was very happy that I reached that goal. And then my next goal was creating handouts for my clients so that their techniques could be generalized in their everyday lives. And I also reached this goal. So for one of my clients, I made flashcards for him to take home so that he could practice his CVC words every day. And then these were the same 5 words that we worked on the whole semester. And then for another one of my clients, I did the same thing. I made flashcards for S blends. And this one, we would do a different S cluster blend each week. And so like 1 week we would do ST, 1 week we would do SL, things like that. And so I would make laminated cards. And at the end of that week, he would get to take home that card and a coloring page. So that, and the coloring page had the pictures of the words that we were working on as well. So he could color, and mom and him could go over the words and everything like that. And then for my articulation client, I gave her homework every week as well. It would be worksheets out of the entire World of R book, and I would have her go over it, and she would have to say the words 5 times each, and that seemed to really help as well. So my greatest strengths for this semester, my first one, I feel like this is something that I say all the time, but I think that it's very, very important for a clinician to be able to do this, is being able to adapt to your client and to your environment. This is something that I've always been good at, even working as an SLPA. I think that helped a lot as well. If something's not going the way that I need it to go, I can quickly change how we're doing it instead of just changing the whole entire activity. Instead of focusing on one goal, I will switch it to a different goal, obviously not telling the client, but just think in my head, okay, I'm not getting the data I need, but I am hearing this, so let me start taking data on this instead, which has worked really well for me. And the next thing is modeling. So with play-based therapy, I've learned that a lot of it has to do with modeling. And so you really have to listen to what you're saying while actually trying to listen to the client as well. And so it's emphasizing the right things. So one of the goals that I had for one of my clients was the to be auxiliary verb plus ing. And so I would say, oh, Thomas is going fast. Or for another one of the goals is the to be copula, and it's, oh, Thomas is green, or the sky is blue, and really emphasizing those points so that the kid is hearing it, and so they think, okay, well, they'll either imitate me right after, or it'll generalize to that spontaneous utterance that I want, and they'll say, okay, well, I need to use this word because she really said it loud, and that means I'm saying it right. And so I think I did a really good job this semester at modeling what I wanted my clients to do. Another thing that I feel like I'm good at, and this is something that I've talked about before, is managing behavior. I've had a client who has cried during several of the sessions, and instead of just giving the client what he wanted, well, he wanted to go back to mom. So I couldn't just, okay, we're going to go back to mom. I would do something that would make him feel a little bit more comfortable. So I knew he liked bubbles, so I would take out the bubbles and I would blow him some bubbles, and he even would hug me, and I would tell him, oh, okay, it's going to be okay. Let's get our bubbles out. Let's blow some bubbles. And then I would put the bubbles away and bring out our activity. Now, he did try to get into the habit of crying during the activity so that he wouldn't have to do it, but I made sure that I did not switch the activity, because then I did not want him to think, okay, well, when I cry, I get what I want. I don't have to do what Miss Justice says. So instead, I would bring out the bubbles, blow some, okay, we're still going to do this, and he would still do it. So another thing that I think I did well with managing behavior is being firm. I did an evaluation where my little girl kept climbing up on the chair and standing on the chair and acting like she wanted to jump off. So I would just place her down on the floor and say, no, we're not going to do that again. She maybe did it 2 times during the evaluation. After that second time, she did not do it again. I stayed firm and I let her know, we are not going to do that. We can hurt ourselves. We will not get on that chair again. So I think being firm with your clients is something that's very important. So while I do have some great strengths, I do still have very many weaknesses. One of the things that I think that I still struggle with, and I think it's just because I've had so many older clients that I'm really bad at coming up with more creative ways to target goals. Something fun that kids are going to want to do. Kids don't want to sit down and work on a worksheet or, drill. They want to do something fun. So I still really need to work on doing more fun activities that are still targeting their goal. Rather than just, and I didn't have any worksheets this semester, but I still feel like I could have been a lot more creative with the goals that I had. And so my next weakness is staying on top of paperwork. Between SOAPs and lesson plans and progress reports and progress graphs and putting my Calypso hours in correctly, it can get very, very overwhelming. And so I'm terrible and I procrastinate a lot. And so I waited until the last minute to do everything. So if soaps were due on Fridays, I'm doing them Friday morning. Lesson plans are due 24 hours. I'm doing it at the last minute, right before it's due. And so same thing with the progress graphs. It would have been very, very beneficial for me to keep track every week as we do the progress graphs, but no, I waited until the last minute to do them, and so it becomes very stressful. And so that's something that I know I definitely need to work on, especially going to the school this fall. I know I'm going to have a lot of paperwork that I'm going to be learning, and I'm still going to be having classes and studying for the praxis and getting ready for ASHA. So I definitely need to work on my time management and staying on top of my paperwork and just de-stressing myself so that I'm not waiting till the last minute to do these things and my hair starts to fall out. So this fall, I will be in a school placement and I'll be working with younger students. I'm at the Fredonia Elementary School, and then in the afternoons we're at Nettie Marshall. And so I know that one of the things that I learned this semester that I'm really happy about is using play-based therapy. And I know I'll be able to take that to the school setting and be able to utilize it correctly and not just have to drill. But that's one thing that I'm very, very excited about learning because, like I said, I've really had just a lot of older clients, so I've never had to do play-based therapy. But I really feel confident in it now, and so I feel like I can definitely take that to my fall placement. And if I do, one day decide to work at an elementary school, you never know God's plans, I will be able to utilize this accurately and effectively. But I just want to say thank you to both of my supervisors. Y'all have been great this semester. I have learned so much, and I have seen great growth in myself. So thank you. Bye.